Good morning, stackers! Is silver really manipulated? Come on, man. Is it actually manipulated? A little bit clickbaity, but we are going to talk about that. I want to know your truthful thoughts. Is it manipulated? Why is it manipulated, do you think? I want to leave all your comments below, and we'll just can we find the fair road of the two? I don't know. We'll have a bit of a discussion on that. Of course, we'll do live gold analysis, Bitcoin. We'll look at TOSHI as well, of course. That's part of the fam. Altcoins, and just, the general fun that we have here. If you are watching this on the replay, use the time codes below to go to your favorite part. I mean, that's what you do. But otherwise, if you're watching live on X and on YouTube right now, you get to enjoy every single damn thing we do here at Good Morning Stackers, including the Synchronised Slurp. Did you miss it over the weekend? You kind of on Saturday and Sunday morning, you're like, oh, there's no one to slurp it with. Well, you get to do that right now with me, Joe Main, and the rest of the GMS family. Do it audibly. Do it for your team members. Here we go. Ready? In 3, 2, 1. Slurp it, people. Oh, good to see you. I'll wait for a few people to saunter on in. I'm Joe Main, coming to you live from Melbourne in Australia. Who the hell am I? If you're finding me for the first time, I've been a stacker of precious metals since 2010, a stacker of crypto since 2013. I've worked in the bullion industry, so the retail gold and silver bullion dealer industry, right? Over 3 major bullion dealers of over 11 years, served thousands of customers. I then launched and grew multiple businesses, YouTube and other social media channels, specifically in the bullion industry space, but now I do it for every other kind of business in the world. If you want to find out more about that, and I have multiple clients and I'm helping them multiple simultaneously, you can be part of that. I have a 10-week course, which I literally teach you or someone within your business how to create consistently engaging content, okay? And then I push you like a baby bird out of the nest and I monitor you. We came back, we have some, some updates and all that kind of stuff, but I literally teach you everything I've learned in the last number of years doing it myself. It really helps to build your customer base or to grab additional business, to build a community. Send me an email, gmstackers@gmail.com, gmstackers@gmail.com, or you can send me an email for any other reason because I like to talk to people. And you can send me a picture of a specific silver coin or a bar that you've found recently at a local coin shop. So we'll do some subscriber show and tell, whatever you want, or just tell me that I'm wonderful. That's always good too. Of course, did you know the show is brought to you by Perth Bullion Exchange, perthbullion.com.au, wealthstack.com, an Australian-based operation, but I always go wealthstack.com right there. Don't know why. And of course, first few minutes, we speak to the early birds. They always catch the shout-outs. It's President's Day today. I didn't realize that. Gerald Draper says President's Day today in America, Monday yet. So Sunday, early evening, late afternoon here in the States. As for manipulation, was the question for how long or who started it? Yes, 100% trickery, says Gerald Draper. We will be talking about that very shortly. Had to stop and smack that lag. Smack that, get on the floor, smack that till you get so terrible. So hit the like button, people. It helps me with the algorithm. Morning, Joe, says Jason Ashworth. Morning, Jason. It's good to see you. I'm going to talk like this from now on. I won't even close my mouth. Kelly Kemp, good to see you, bro. Lovely to always have Kelly Kemp in the house. Lance, today's the last day before returning to work tomorrow. So Lance is a new father. Had a few weeks off, maybe. How long has it been that you've had the paternity leave as such? Maybe only a couple of weeks, probably maybe 4, 6. So you're back at work tomorrow. Ouch. So you're getting the double whammy. I'm sorry, man. That sucks. But, having children is a blessing. An absolute blessing, I tell you. Desi, good morning, says Des. Curious to hear Joe's thoughts in the massive spike and drop. Yep, you always mentioned that that's not a good sign. We'll talk about the silver price. Yeah, the short answer is spikes mean SHIT. It's where things close at, but I might make a slight exception. GMS, I really enjoyed the silver spike up on Friday for a few hours, then back down. Yes, we'll be talking about that. David Smith, g'day, how are you? Says they're fun. Perth, Niels Hahn Dynasty, great, good to see you, my friend. 4 weeks, yeah, that sucks, man. Let me just fix that. There we go, that's a little bit better. Yeah, all right, the lighting is still an issue, but, we've got that sheet over the window, so it's doing some nice diffuse sort of stuff here. Yeah, I think we shall talk about it. Give me a sec. Cool. Is silver really manipulated? Come on, guys. All you conspiracy theories. You conspiracy theorists, you're just a crazy conspiracy theorist. Because, silver's not manipulated, man. It's just up and down in the market like everything else. Let me know your thoughts below. Some people would be on that side of things like, it's not manipulated. And other people like, no, have you seen the information? Have you seen the evidence, etc.? And let's just see if we can find a kind of a balanced view. And I'll give you my personal opinion and we'll work through the logic at the same time. So what the hell am I talking about? If you're new to silver investing or you've never been in silver, a lot of claims that silver in particular is heavily manipulated and has been heavily manipulated since a very, very long time ago. Many theories, etc. So I want your comments below. I'll read out some comments that I got on one of the Facebook groups as well, and we'll just do a quick little bit of grokking at the same time to give a summary. So I'll quickly share the screen. That's the silver price, by the way, and we'll be looking at the silver price first. As in, what I'll do, we'll talk about the potential manipulation here, and then we'll just tie it into the silver price as it currently is right now. But let's head over to, we'll go over to X, okay? And by the way, you should be following me on X. I'm live right now on X, x.com/it's Joe Main, 3,457 followers as of right now, okay? I do it live on X and live on YouTube. You want to find me on X because I'll just do price updates and a whole bunch of other stuff that I post very regularly, not just once a day, okay, like the YouTube live stream. I'm going to go over to Grok, okay? Now, let me be very clear about Grok, okay? Do I take Grok as a source of truth? No, I do not. I take absolutely nothing as a total source of truth. Is Grok good and the AI things, are they good for getting summaries? Yes. Do I trust Grok more than others, say OpenAI, ChatGPT? Yes, I believe Grok is probably less manipulated. I've been talking about manipulation, and I also believe that, well, the great thing about Grok is you're also getting real-time information from X and whatever. But let's just ask some of the arguments here, and again, we're going to read some comments, or your comments, etc. What are the arguments and evidence for the silver price being manipulated? Okay, the argument for the price of silver is manipulated revolves around several key points and pieces of evidence, often discussed by analysts, investors, and market observers. Here's a breakdown. Arguments for silver price manipulation. Now, again, this is Grok, just a summary, not going to go into every single detail about JP Morgan or HSBC or this or all that goes, or, the British and China and the whole deal, right? The crime of 18, whatever it was, to do with silver. Okay, evidence. A small number of large banks and financial institutions dominate the silver futures market, especially on exchanges like the COMEX. Critics argue that this concentration allows these entities to influence prices by controlling supply and demand dynamics through short positions. I would agree with that. Argument, the disproportionate control by a few entities could lead to manipulation where prices are kept artificially low to benefit these institutions at the expense of smaller investors. Okay, number one. Number two, trading patterns and anomalies. Evidence, sudden, unexplained drops or price drops or spikes, particularly around key economic announcements. Okay, so CPI data, Fed meetings, all that kind of stuff, I'd imagine, or at times when trading volumes are low. So that's been cited. Argument, these patterns suggest possible manipulation where large trades might be used to push prices down or up, not based on market fundamentals, but on strategic manipulation. COMEX warehouse stock movements. Evidence, there has been observations of significant movements in COMEX silver inventories, often not correlating with market demand or supply changes. Fair enough. Manipulators might use these movements to signal market conditions or to execute strategies that affect price without actual delivery of the metal. Well, the paper silver to physical silver ratio is over 400. At the moment. That's the highest it's been ever. Okay. Oh, here we go. Paper versus physical disparity. The volume of silver traded on paper futures far exceeds the physical silver available or mined annually, leading to a disconnect between paper and physical markets. Yes, derivative markets, you're going to see that discrepancy. This discrepancy could be used to manipulate the price through financial instruments without corresponding physical metal backing, essentially creating a synthetic supply. Yes, that's true. Regulatory concerns and whistleblower accounts. Okay. There have been instances where former traders or industry insiders have claimed manipulation. Additionally, regulatory bodies like the CTFC have investigated silver market practices in the past, though no definitive proof of widespread manipulation has been conclusively established. Okay, I might challenge that one. We'll take a look at a couple of comments. The existence of investigations and the lack of transparency in some practices fuel suspicions of manipulation. Yup. Historical precedences. Historical cases of commodity manipulation in other markets, like the Hunt brothers attempting to con the silver market in the late 1970s, provide a backdrop for current suspicions. If so, and the argument would be if manipulation has occurred in the past, it could be happening now with more sophisticated methods. Totally. Counter arguments. Now, what I like about this, and this is a great thing about Grok, which you may not get in other potential AIs, they give you a counter argument at the same time. Fair enough. And we always need the other side of market efficiency. So here's the counter argument to silver manipulation. Defenders of the market argue that price movements reflect real supply and demand dynamics, okay, including industrial use, investment demand, and macroeconomic factors. Whatever that means. Lack of conclusive evidence, despite suspicions, no hard, irrefutable evidence has been presented in court that would stand up to scrutiny. Okay, suggesting that market mechanisms might just be complex rather than manipulated. Regulatory oversight, the presence of regulatory bodies monitoring markets is intended to prevent. But people are people, and people have incentives to do bad things. Let's see. While there are compelling arguments, and this is just the conclusion. Okay, it's basically saying could be, couldn't be. Okay, let's get your thoughts on that. Actually, I'm going to read some of the comments here, and I might ask Grok another question. Let's see here. Let's go. This is the Gold and Silver Stackers Australia forum. If you are a Gold and Silver Stacker in Australia and you're not a member of the Gold and Silver Stackers Australia forum, don't know what you're doing. It's the place to be. Gold and Silver Stackers, 8.5 thousand members. There's copycats of this website, of this group. Okay, so you got to find the one that has 8.5 thousand members as of the time of this video. Cool. Right, and it's buy, swap, and sell. People post things, and I post things every day. So I asked the question about the whole manipulation thing. So Callan, good old Callan, considering JP Morgan copped a $920 million fine for rigging the gold, silver, and treasury markets, and the top 8 big banks hold the largest short positions of any commodity, and its silver, and BlackRock and JP Morgan are the custodians, for SLV, there's bound to be a bit of manipulation going on. 3 likes, I liked it myself. Could absolutely agree with that. Now, Mark Benbow says, been rigged for years, ever since the US dollar was unpegged from gold. Well, that was in 1971, August 15th of 1971, specifically when Nixon removed removed the US dollar from gold. Okay, been rigged since then. So I'm going to do some investigation on that. Let's just double check all that. How true is that, or what is the to that? Let's see. Did JP Morgan, let's go here. Was JP Morgan fined $920 million? Let's just double check all that. $1 million for rigging or manipulating. Isn't this fun watching this live? Or manipulating the silver market. Cool. Let's just see what good old Grok has to say. Again, not a 100% source of truth, but good for summarizing and all that kind of stuff. There we go. So we have our answer according to Grok. Yes, JP Morgan was fined $920 million for manipulating the precious metals market, including silver. This was part of a broader settlement. Now it's a settlement, okay, with the US authorities for market manipulation involving both precious metals futures and US Treasury securities. The bank admitted to wrongdoing in September of 2020, agreeing to pay this amount under a deferred prosecution agreement. So it was a settlement, okay, obviously, with the Department of Justice, along with settlements with the CTFC, which was mentioned before, and the SEC. The manipulation involves tactics like spoofing, where traders place orders with no intention of executing them to influence market prices. Does that answer your question? Okay, there was a bunch of posts on it. There's citing a bunch of posts, there's citing a bunch of websites. Let's take a look at a bunch of these posts. This is back in 2023. JP Morgan is asking DOJ to give back the $920 million fine it was charged for rigging special metals markets. JP said that even though they admitted guilt, the fine wasn't necessary. JP Morgan declined to answer if they had even paid the fine yet. Okay. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so have they even paid the fine? Okay. They said, okay, yeah, we did a bad thing, but fair enough. Let's see. Did they pay it? Oh, apparently they did. Their profits from it. Okay, so seems to be true. Okay. And, I was already aware of this. We all know about the JP Morgan, I think HSBC too as well, JP Morgan Chase, all of those. Okay. So let's go back. I'll go back to here and read some of your comments. And I'm going to give you my opinions and moving forward, what does that mean in the first place? Okay, so let's go back and I'm going to read some of your comments as well. Let's go back. Always asking the big questions here. Good morning, Stackers. Yes, Gerald Draper says, ask Bix on Road to Rooter. Yes, the good old Road to Rooter theory. So I had been following Bix Weir for many, many years. I haven't watched a lot of his stuff recently. And just so you know where I come from in all of this, again, stacking silver since 2010. And so I rode that wave of all those original, the OGs of, silver is manipulated as well. So you're talking about Bix Weir with the Road to Rooter theory. The Road to Rooter theory, as a quick breakdown, is that he has this theory which is basically since the invention of computers, roughly, or like more advanced computer things, all markets are completely manipulated. There's the Road to Rooter theory is actually based on the Wizard of Oz. It's a whole thing. It's in the book of the original book and all this sort of stuff. Anyway, silver is highly manipulated. Everything's manipulated, basically. That's what he's saying. Bix does. Now, I've also followed a bunch of people such as Chris Dwayne. Chris Dwayne, as you know, is from Silver Bullet, Silver Shield, now Silver Shield. Of course, did an amazing series called "Well, the Greatest Truth Never Told" on YouTube. I think you can find that somewhere. He also did the Sons of Liberty Academy, which is like 48 hours worth of presentation, which is laborious to get through, and sometimes it's like real deep, but it's a deep dive. You go all the way down the rabbit hole, all the way back up again about how the world works in general, but also silver manipulation and all that, and plenty of other people who have talked about it. Okay, so I've heard it all before, and there was a period during my initial getting into silver where I was like, yep, manipulated, yep, got to be. And then just as the years go by, you kind of forget the ins and outs of it, and then you go, oh, okay, is it or isn't it? Now, the proof would be in the pudding of the JP Morgan $920 million fine. So the short answer is, and I'll get to your comments. So the first question you have to ask is, number one, is it true? Okay, and the second question you have to ask is, okay, compared to what as well? So number one, is it true? Well, based on the $920 million fine, it looks like some kind of manipulation of the precious metals markets and silver in particular. Yes, is absolutely 100% true. Okay, then the second question becomes, and this is where it gets a little bit more, woo-woo or bigger, which is compared to what? All right, so that's the next question we need to ask. Compared to what else? Is everything else pretty much manipulated as well? So then the argument could be made, well, if JP Morgan got fined or admitted wrongdoing of rigging the silver market with US treasuries and gold as well, isn't every other market in the world completely manipulated in some form at the same time? The answer would be, well, logically, very likely the case. Okay, so then the question becomes, and it gets, getting even deeper, then the question becomes, well, is the silver market manipulation a much larger manipulation than everything else? And is it, as some people would argue, the absolute linchpin of the entire global financial system, which many people believe it to be the case? So on that, we'll get some comments. We'll get some comments, and then we'll go back to that. Let's get some comments, and I'll come back to that. Let's see. Because I'll give you my opinion. Oh, great. And that's a great question. What definition are you using for the word manipulation? Great question. That's an excellent question that you need to ask. What are your definitions? But what definition am I using? The financial manipulation. Just manipulation. Is there a different... What definition are you using? Are there different definitions for manipulation? That's a good question. Just the general one, I guess. Gerald, he will school you on manipulation. Yes, road to rooter theory. Yes, big square. Yep. The clear path of suppression for military and industrial use cases. There you go. So that's another big reason why the silver market could be massively more manipulated than every other single market. Now, I happen to believe all markets are manipulated, very likely. Let me put it another way. Sorry. Any market that matters in the world, and not every single market matters in the world. Okay, there might be some smaller company that does something that's maybe floated recently. It's maybe a smaller market cap. Does it really matter? But the things that really matter, are probably all manipulated. Why? Because people have a vested interest in manipulating things that matter, and if they can, they will. That's human incentive. So yes, I can absolutely see why the silver market would be manipulated. The reasons why, though, I don't exactly know, and I don't know any of us can actually know fully, right? But the clear path of suppression for military industrial use cases, I can see that to be the case. Let's see. Lance says, Mark Moss did a good piece on what's happening with LBMA and COMEX exchanges with the arbitrage into China. Okay. Hi, everyone, says Knackers. G'day. Gerald Draper. The price of the crime is far less than the profits I'm committing. Pennies on the bills. Correct. So if there's enough, like anything in the world, if there's enough financial incentive or enough incentive to do something, it doesn't cost you as much, the likelihood of getting caught isn't huge, then it's going to be rigged. Does that remind you of anything? 2020. 2020. Excuse me. Sorry. Silver. We will talk about this. Silver would be around $235 an ounce in American dollars, I think you're saying, in my opinion, if not manipulated. Okay, we'll come back to that. That's why they keep doing it. There you go. Paper silver is no longer a musical chairs. It's Russian roulette with 5 out of 6 chambers filled. Yeah. Ask DeepSeek as well. Yeah, sure. Oh, yeah, China. Yeah, ask the Chinese DeepSeek and let's find out. Sure. Stories going around. Yes. This is cool. Stories going around that Fort Knox does not hold anything close to the amount of gold they claim to say they have. Thoughts? Yeah. All the silver and gold stackers in the world absolutely know with almost 100% certainty that there's either zero gold and silver or zero gold in Fort Knox, or there's way less than they say, because it hasn't been audited since 1953 and a soft audit, the show audit as they call it, in 1974, I think it was. And what did what did someone come out and say recently to Elon and Doge? It was something, mentioned Fort Knox, and then he comes back and goes, surely it's been audited, it gets regular audits, and everyone, like even I jumped on, and everyone just jumped and goes, dude, you need to look that up. It hasn't been audited since 1953 and 1974. You want to look into that. that could actually be the case. Can you imagine, whether you like Elon, whether you don't like Elon, whatever it is, can you imagine Doge goes in and actually gets the president or advises the president or asks the president to open Fort Knox? There's only one reason I think that wouldn't happen, and because the answer would shock the markets and it would probably be like a complete, like would crash the markets. That's the only reason why I think it couldn't have been done by now, or why it wouldn't be done this time. Okay, it's really there's not one reason for everything, but that's the main reason. David Smith, Joe, you mentioned North Star and Bad Charts a few times last week. Yeah, I look at some of their charts and videos on YouTube. Their analysis is amazing. Absolutely agree. Steve, London is amazing. Yes, when the profit outweighs the fine, there is no incentive to stop. I absolutely agree, Jason. Couldn't agree more. And you can, we'll get back to, we're talking general manipulation and rigging and that kind of thing. I do agree. You can also change that somewhat to say something like when the profit outweighs the fine, okay? And if we're talking just general, you can say when the pros outweigh the cons and way outweigh the cons, there is no incentive to stop. 2020. Sorry. That was just for you, Jason. DeepSeek's answer would be interesting. Yeah, totally agree. I did similar to what Joe got, but actually had some more info. Oh, good to know. Okay, that's good. All right, we'll check that out too. Woo-woo time. Is the whole world rigged against anyone outside the system? Yes. I don't think it's woo-woo when the rich are getting richer and all the rules rigged. Oh, here we go. And all the rules rigged against the little guy. It's clear. Jason. True. If Fort Knox is empty, there we go. This is the thing. If Fort Knox is empty, we are in for worse than 1920. That's why, the only reason why it wouldn't happen, I think. Because everyone would go, and I think a bunch of new presidents have probably done that over time. They've maybe been curious and gone, they've asked someone in the industry, go, can we open Fort Knox? And they go, you could, but really you don't want to. Just if Fort Knox is, Gerald Dreb says, just tell us how many seals were breached in the vaults. There you go. So let's get back to the manipulation thing, and I'll sort of wrap this up. So, do I believe the silver market is manipulated? Yes. Correct. As evidenced by a $920 million. Look, number one, it's evidenced by logic. You didn't even really need JP Morgan to admit that they had some wrongdoing, and did they even pay the fine of $920 million to know, just using logic, that of course it's going to be manipulated to some degree, and that's the degree that we'll touch upon in a second. Yes, because just like Jason said, just like anyone else said, if there is enough incentive, whether it's financial or whatever, to do something, okay? If it's a large enough organization when there's lots of different people, if you can hide in the complexity, right? That's the big thing, hiding in the complexity. So if there's enough of a reward to do it, and the cons for doing it, you believe, there's the less likelihood of getting caught for doing it, or if you get caught, you just cop a small fine. And $920 million for JP Morgan, it's not that huge, okay? Then, of course, you are going to do it every time, in every instance, all throughout time, and all the way in the future on anything whatsoever, whether it be financial instruments or elections or anything like that, okay? Or in your everyday life. I once I worked at Officeworks. And I worked in, why am I talking about this? But yeah, it happens in your everyday life. I have worked in the Officeworks, 20 years ago I worked in the Officeworks copy center department, okay? And people, remember, used to get your copy thing, you put the thing in the machine, you put your money in the machine, you get that little plastic card, you put your plastic card in the copy machine and make your copies. Well, lots of people would always forget to take their card out of the machine. And because I worked at the copy center, I'd be like, oh, there's another fake one. And I could test how much money was on the thing. Oh, there's $5 on that one. Oh, there's $20 on that one. Okay, and then I would get all my photocopies for free because I had a band and I did posters and all that kind of stuff because there was a financial incentive for me to do it. I thought I could get away with it. It gets done every single time. Micro level, macro level. Okay, so yes, so the silver market is manipulated. Now the question becomes, why? I don't know, and neither 100% do you. Here's the big question though. Does it matter to the price? And does it matter enough that you would decide to be in silver or not in silver? So here's the big thing. If you believe that let me put it another way, if you're complaining or if you believe really that the silver market is heavily manipulated, why are you investing in silver? Okay, if you believe it's manipulated and it'll always be suppressed. So I see these people on Facebook. I see not everyone on Facebook, but I get YouTube comments, right? Let me read one out here, which is kind of weird to me, right? Let's just read out this one. Community. I'll just read it out. I won't show it. Let's see. Community. I haven't responded. Yeah, okay, so someone said on my video entitled, and actually I will show you. Give me a sec. I'll show you this video right here because you actually want to check it out. This is the one I did with ASX Trader. By the way, if you haven't seen my ASX Trader video, the live show that we did with ASX Trader, amazing pro analyst. It was just amazing. And I did a recent little excerpt from that. Okay, and I'll show you this here very quickly. You don't want to hear that. I want to mute that and get the ad out the way. Cool. Let me share the screen for you. Okay, right here. So, by the way, that's ASX Trader. Have you never seen his face before? Now you have. Congratulations. You can thank me for that. I took an excerpt from the live show, but it's called, the little 3-minute video is $700 silver is easy, says ASX Trader. Okay, check out that video. All right. Here's one of the comments, though. Let's see. From someone named Chris Moe. Okay. TA on a rigged game, ? You're missing the point. Okay, that might be correct. Rigged compared to what I've said. Okay. Now some people say, nah, $60 to $300 before 2030. Someone said, wouldn't that mean gold is $50,000 to $100,000 per ounce? I said, well, it depends on the gold to silver ratio, etc. So, but many people go, okay, well, and they're silver stackers, and they complain that the silver game is manipulated. Okay, so why are you stacking? You must be stacking for one of two reasons. Oh, well, for a main reason is you believe that either the silver market is heavily manipulated, but that it eventually won't be anymore. Okay, or as I more so believe, if the market is manipulated, and it has to be, and we already know that it is from JP Morgan fines and all that sort of stuff, I don't think it'll be the case that it won't be anymore. I just think it'll be the case of, yeah, okay, they'll manipulate it and they'll suppress it until they don't want to suppress it anymore, or maybe they're just slow walking it up to the levels that they want to get it to. Okay, at the end of the day, does that really matter to me? Does it matter whether the silver price is manipulated or it isn't manipulated? If you believe that silver is manipulated and it will never get above $50 again, why the are you even investing in silver in the first place? Okay, now this is not to anyone in the chat, it's not to anyone in specifically, but if you're one of those people going, silver's rigged, okay, don't buy it. But if you believe silver is manipulated, it is, okay, to a certain degree, the price still goes up and down. Okay, you must be in it. You have to be in it because you believe it's going to go higher over a longer period of time. Okay, and I believe that to be the case. So silver is manipulated. I don't know to what huge degree, for the reasons why historically, end of the financial end of the gold reserve system, 1971, or even further back to the crime of 18, whatever it was. Or silver is the big dominating thing in the whole entire global financial market, and every single thing is based on silver, silver, silver. I don't give a flying. I just care, is my number going to go up over the longer term? Is it going to track with inflation? Is it going to maintain my purchasing power over time? Yep. So does it matter in the first place? No, to me. Now, if it is manipulated, and they're trying to suppress the price until it gets up to a certain level, and then do they let the floodgates open? Great, that's good for you and me. we've had, and this is the thing I'll mention here. And obviously we know it's manipulated, because here's one of a big point which ASX trader made. Okay, again on this video, in the larger video, but right here. Okay, again, once again, ASX trader said in this video, I'll share the screen. In this video right here, he said, and it is true as far as I'm aware, silver is the only asset to still be under its 1980 price. Let me state that again. Silver is the only asset to still be under its 1980 price. Okay, it hasn't even adjusted for inflation. Okay, so that's pretty much I would almost say that's pretty much 100% proof of absolute huge market manipulation. But we already know that to be the case again with JP Morgan. The opposite to that would say, well, that original manipulation with the Hunt brothers and all that took it artificially back then. So that was it was bringing the price way forward, bringing that higher price way forward in 1980. Okay, apparently the Hunt brothers tried to corner the market, etc. I don't necessarily believe, and there's other people who've made the case, that the Hunt brothers thing, while it was part of it, may have been a bit of a smokescreen for the larger manipulation, again, going in the larger conspiracy theory. Okay, and maybe the Hunt brothers was the front or the excuse, to say, oh, look at the Hunt brothers, but really it was the bigger people. Okay, but again, so that's the other side of it, that as ASX trader said, 25 cents, 30 cents in the 1800 to 1930 to 50 years later, $50, a 200x in that time. Okay. Was it all just normal market forces, part of market manipulation, whatever? Was that all brought forward? So, $50 was, a huge move. And now, because we're still only under $50, it's because that was just such a huge move and huge manipulation back in 1980. That could be the case as well. But it still is the fact that it's the only asset, again, as far as I'm aware, that's under its 1980 price. What an absolute opportunity for us. And some people will say, opportunity, but it's manipulated. Yes, but manipulated, but I don't believe it can be manipulated forever. But if it is, they're going to gradually let it go up. I think silver will clear its previous all-time high of $50, and I think it's going higher. Okay, and at the end of the day, I guess we've got to have some kind of faith, don't we? So is that where we leave it? I have faith that silver will go higher than here. It is manipulated. I have a lot of faith. Guess all we can use, that it will continue. And I believe that in 10 to 20 years' time, it could go as high as that $700 mark that we've spoken about before. Question becomes then, what is the price of a loaf of bread? Are we in a hyperinflationary scenario? I get all that. But the dollar value, yeah, I can see that. Let's do some comments, and we shall not get out of here. We'll talk about all the other stuff. We've been going for 45 minutes on silver manipulation. Let's see. More comments on that. Let's see. Nakazaro says, are the fines tax deductible? Yeah, for JP Morgan. Yeah, probably are. 8 convictions, scapegoats and fines, paid no second thoughts with it. Yeah, exactly. No second. It's just like, 920 million, what's that to us? Jason Ashworth, I've seen cases where some fines or payouts are tax deductible. That's funny. The end is near. The end is near. 2026, the music will stop. You could be right. You could be right. For when the bubble bursts and they can no longer hide the suppression. Great. That's great for you and me. Fantastic. Some people believe that to be the case. Great. Isn't that a gift that they are manipulating it and suppressing it so us, the little guy, can buy it? Desi, because people have this strange belief that the manipulation will just stop one day and silver will be unshackled. Yeah, I don't know. Living out a man, GMS, good to see you, my friend. Everything's manipulated except me. Oh, LAM. Now you know how you're not manipulated? Because you just said that you're not being manipulated. That's how I know. Why is the lighting better when I do that? Is it because of my shiny forehead? Yeah, okay, there you go. You just have to play the game, and we are in the game. Oh, Jason Ashworth says my Perth Bullion Exchange order is out for delivery today. Awesome, man. That is great. perthbullion.com.au. The silver manipulation timeline is shortening and will end just a waiting game. I believed that in 2010. Let me just put it that way. Let's see. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Do you have a wife living out of man? Not manipulated. Nobody complains if it's manipulated and you make a good profit. Bang. Exactly right. It's the people who bought, look, and we all know this, it's the people who bought in, late, early 2011, at this, I was buying up at these high prices too, but I've never complained that it was like, oh, it was manipulated, they got me. Yeah, okay, so you've ridden the wave. Okay, good. Did you buy more? Great. That says that for me, and in relation to gold, I feel very confident. Ratio will tighten. Been there, still healing. Oh, I see. Altcoins, yes. Real world assets and AI projects, yes. We will take a look at the altcoin market this morning. We will take a look at TOSHI. We'll take a look at some other stuff very quickly. All right, let's take it. Oh, God, this is going to be a long show. Okay, crap. Long show today. Oh, that's why I've got the time because the everyone's out of the house today, so I've got internet bandwidth. Let's take a look at, speaking of silver, man, we've been talking about that for a while. Let's take a quick look at the silver price. Then we'll do gold, platinum, and then we'll get into crypto and all that stuff. Cool. You're watching Good Morning Stackers, the weekdaily live show with me, Joe Main, live from Melbourne in Australia. Hit the big red subscribe button on YouTube. Follow me on X. Silver on the 4-hour time frame. Let's go to the daily. Price in US dollars. We normally do it in USD because it is the world's reserve currency. $32.15. It happened. It was happening and it happened. Okay, now it happened. We had a spike above and we had a move above, and it was holding above on the day. We had this nice green candle so far above $32.50. It is the final hurdle for new highs soon. Okay, previous major level of resistance right there became resistance again. Okay, we need resistance here. We needed to spike. We need to clear above it. What do I say about spikes? Spikes mean SHIT. Okay, it's all about where you close at. So here's the positive though. We had a spike. Okay, so a spike is a test. So look, and we all know anyway that silver is going to go. It's in its massive cup and handle formation. All right, 45-year cup and handle. That's why we're talking about $700 silver later on down the track, where I'll get rid of the relative strength index, where you have the massive cup, right? The handle, it has the breakout, and in roughly 10 to 20 years time, you can see it as high as like $700 up here, right? But we're talking 10 to 20 years. Okay, by the way, cool. And again, what's the price of a loaf of bread or a liter of milk at the time? Sure, who knows? But that is playing out. Okay, so we know, and I think that's despite manipulation. Okay, I think that's the most obvious thing. Okay, that's going to play out eventually. You'll see $700 US silver 10 to 20 years from now, as ASX trader does agree and says that's easy, easy from here, because the inflation adjusted amount is way higher, 150 to 30, as Gerald Draper says. Anyway, the short answer is, we know it's going higher. Okay, but out of interest on the shorter term timeframes and on the longer terms, but the short terms, the spikes don't mean anything. Okay, the spikes, particularly the big spikes in the upward direction, can say, and particularly if you end in a red day, it says, oh, we made a play for it. Sellers went, no, you don't. Or the manipulators said, yeah, no, not just yet. We're not ready to break that, go back to that, old level. Okay, we did it here for a couple of days, a couple of weeks. That was good to see, a lovely test. So this is the good thing. Here's the great thing. We've already had that test, and it was multiple days above it. Was it a week above it? And we had like 1-2 weeks above that $32.50 level. So that's good to see. Another little spike, fine. But the spike does say that the sellers are still in the control of the market, or manipulators. And it probably means that we are probably going to see a bit of a downward movement or sideways action for the next, I don't know how long. But if you're talking in terms of, say, ASX traders parlance, zigging and zagging, then you would say this spike right here, that was the zig, and now we need the zag in the opposite direction. Okay, so just like ASX, for example, you could see he would probably do, I think it did do something like this, where you find a Fibonacci level like that from the obvious low on the daily and the very obvious high on the daily time frame. That's the point right there. You're not going to see something like that and then it spikes higher and then we have the retrace. We've done the big move up, or the move up, the zig, if you want to call it, and now we're going to do zag in the opposite direction and find some consolidation down and through time. Okay, so the main areas you'd be looking at would be somewhere between that $31.60 anywhere down to maybe $30.50. So that kind of window right there. Okay, so yeah, expecting some downward movement at least in the next couple of days, and that could take maybe even a week or two. Okay, in the silver market, but you can see on the weekly, we've just opened the week, big spike on the weekly. You've had that move. Pretty darn confident. I mean, this doesn't look like a head and shoulders. We did talk about that because the neckline is not. That neckline is way too much of a steep, okay, to call that a head and shoulders, I think. Okay, and then you've also broken above the previous shoulder right there. It is a spike though, isn't that interesting? It is a spike on the weekly. Okay, so we have hovered around that area. I guess say watch out for that. Probably not. Okay, again, that needed to come down to here to kind of more match that neckline to say this was more of a head and shoulders. Okay, so very likely not. Let's keep it in the back of your mind. But more likely what you see is just a move maybe this week, next week, couple of weeks, whatever, down to a rough level, call it your... I would prefer it to be that 31. Okay, so here's an interesting one. Here's some confluence. Here's what I'm going to suggest it will be. I think you will find support at no lower than 31 US dollars. Why is that? Well, that's a previous level of resistance right here. So that's my call. That's my little call. Look, maybe who the F knows. But I like 31. 31, as you know, is a key level for me. I can't show it to you right now, but it is a massive Fibonacci level from the old highs of the 1980s and the old lows of the early 90s. So on balance of probability, I'm going to say about 31. Watch out for that. Cool. Does it really matter anyway? No. Is this just the daily weather report? Yes. You still watch the weather report every day anyway, don't you? Does it matter? No. Are you dollar cost averaging? Great. Does it matter? Are you trying to time the market perfectly and buy at the exact right time? You shouldn't do that. You should be dollar cost averaging anyway. But yeah, expect a bit of a downward movement in the next couple of days. I'm looking at 31. Could dip anywhere as low as that $30.50. You don't want to see it dip below 20. Where's that? 20. Is that the $29.80? There it is. Remember that $29.80 we talked about for a really long time? Right there, and that spike down to there. There you go. There's that $29.80 level. Right. You start closing below $29.80. Not great. Okay, so yeah, you have that, as ASX trader would say, you have that zig, you have that zag back down. We tested that area. That's good to see. Okay, so very likely, yeah, 31. I'm going to say that's my opinion. All right, so I'm going to pop in a range there. My bias is at 31. But I'll say 31 to $30.50 is the range we will come down to. Cool. Does it matter anyway? No, not really. But just watch out for that. And then very likely onwards and upwards from there. And then when we do finally break that $32.50 and close it at least on a daily time frame, okay, then we'll have a little bit of a mini party on that. Okay. Whatever, that would be great. And then we'll start talking about the higher prices. Cool. That is silver. Gold, 2,888 US dollars. Did I mention, and you do know that I had been mentioning, the fact that we had a bit of a bearish divergence going on. Do you remember that? I talked about that on the... was it on the daily? I think it was also on the weekly time frame as well. Yeah, there you go. So there's that spike. So we've had a spike. So we spiked the all-time high, new all-time high, 2,940 US dollars per troy ounce. We talked about this potential, which it looks like with that spike, I would call that probably a little, possibly a mini top for now. Okay, before maybe have 1 or 2 weeks down. If silver is going to go down, probably on gold it will. But that just got to watch out for this potential bearish divergence pattern playing out where you have a higher high on the weekly or the higher high on any time frame, but you're having a lower high on the relative strength index. Now that's closed that week lower, okay? So higher in fiat dollar price, lower in the relative strength index, bearish divergence usually. You can see that spike right here. So I've kept saying it, and this is where I can be completely wrong again. Yeah, sure, we could have a massive spike again. I'm just more likely is 1 or 2 weeks down, possibly more, and yeah, that's okay, no problem. We've nearly hit that $3,000 psychological value. It doesn't really matter anyway because we are going higher and higher and higher over the longer term, no problem at all. Just bear in mind bearish divergence and just watch out for that potential to play out where you could see multiple weeks down. I do not want to see it close below the mother of all trend lines, the one that goes back to 1980. Again, the biggest trend line in all of history, the mother of all trend lines. I don't want to see that. I want to see a bounce off that. That would be lovely. Great. You don't want to see this. No, thank you. Then we're heading down to like your $2,500 mark again, or possibly even lower. Cool, cool. That's gold. Just watch out from here, as I've been saying. Cool, cool. Gold, 900, platinum. Spikes, again, spikes mean SHIT. It's good to see it, what's the word I'm looking for? Test it, great. But once again, like Lucy and the football, on the daily time frame, we had the spike and the manipulators, or just the regular market sellers, or the JP Morgan, whatever you want to call it, HSBC, the powers that be, spiked to over $1,000, but once again closed the week below the symmetrical triangle pattern. Ho hum, par for course, is what it is. It always does it to me. Poor old Charlie Brown. Okay, right here. So yeah, we're just in the, I'll call it the cautiously optimistic zone right now. If we start heading back, if we break a couple of weeks back down into here, under here, I'll just be depressed for platinum again. Cool. We break back down in here. I'll be depressed for platinum. I just need to see it hold. It's got to hold there. Okay. And there's the potential setup for the best buy zone once again. Where's the best buy zone? Do I have it? No, rectangle. No. Rectangle. Have I not named it my best buy zone? Excuse me 1 second. You want to see my forehead? Super line, no, horizontal line, rectangle. Where's my rectangle, bro? Right there. There you go. Best buy zone, $900 to $750 US. Please don't close below there again. That just sets it up for a potential further move down. Okay. It will be lagging gold and silver, and will be lagging until gold has its time. Okay. Goes through the roof. Silver follows, starts going through, and then platinum will be the cousin, right, in third place, So really, platinum can spend a lot of time ranging, can come back down to test the bottom end of the best buy zone again. I'm not saying that's happening. I'm just saying I don't like it here. I don't want to see that close below there, okay? And you would want to find a support level at around about that $940 level right here. Call it there. Cool. Fine. If you bounce down there, okay, let's just do something like that and onwards and upwards. That'd be great for platinum. Although I must say, I'm not in platinum at all. All I own at the moment is a silver and a tiny little bit of gold. And but I'm waiting for the signals for platinum to have its massive run, and it's not there just yet. Okay, keeps teasing us. If we start breaking 1,115, then I'll say it looks like a change of market structure. And then onwards and upwards, then we're like talking turkey, okay, for platinum. But we're not there yet. I am out of platinum. I sold my 2022 Perth Mint Lunar Tiger Platinum late last year. I sold that. And I put that into crypto, actually. And we will talk about crypto in just a second. That's the platinum market. That's all I have to say. Buy from Perth Bullion Exchange, perthbullion.com.au. You want to buy platinum, you want to buy gold, you want to buy silver, best prices because they have a price match guarantee. Find it from any other competitor. Terms and conditions apply, and they'll match the price. Plus, you get free shipping when you buy over 20 or more items. Not 20 of one item, mix and match. Just 20 or more items in your shopping cart, a mix and match of anything. Instant free shipping Australia-wide. No other bullion dealer does a price match guarantee. No other bullion dealer gives you free shipping for any amount whatsoever. Okay? That's all I'll say. perthbullion.com.au. Wealthstack, wealthstack.com. Download it for Android or iPhone. It is a phone app which helps you save and invest in real physical gold, okay? Unallocated gold program, you don't get to hold it in your hands, but later on down the track, on the roadmap is physical redemptions. You're going to have to have over a certain amount of gold. You can't just redeem for 1 gram of gold, okay? When they start doing physical redemptions, it'll be like for a kilo of gold, okay? It's going to start off big, but then they'll slowly pare it down to where later on down the track, you'll be able to redeem for 1 ounce of gold, for example. Okay, but it's all unallocated gold at the moment. No physical redemptions yet. But on the roadmap, a debit card is coming. All that silver is coming too. But for the moment, you buy gold for spot plus 1%, whether you're buying $1 million of gold or $10 of gold. That's the minimum. Okay, you can buy $10 of gold for spot plus 1%. Crazy. And their sellback rate is spot minus 0.5%. So it's a really good spread. Okay, particularly when you're buying in fractions. So this might be great for you to diversify your risk portfolio, okay, with your precious metals holdings. Do you hold some in unallocated? Do you hold some in the physical? Do you hold some in a safe at home? Do you bury some in the backyard? Do you do all those crazy things? Or do you have some in WealthStack, wealthstack.com? Or do you send this to your normie friends and family who you're trying to wake up into precious metals, but you want to give them the gateway drug of something that's really easy for them to do? Okay, so you get them to download the WealthStack app, wealthstack.com, okay? And you just say, hey, look, download WealthStack, sign up, with your ID and all that stuff, start buying gold for spot plus 1%, and then later hey, Uncle Dave, later on, we'll talk about you buying the physical stuff and keeping it in your home or whatever, okay? All I'd ask you to do, go to wealthstack.com, bottom left-hand corner, frequently asked questions page, read the facts, bro, and then you'll find out it's probably for you. And if not for you, for your friends and family. WealthStack, wealthstack.com. Comments and then crypto. Easier just to give you the lotto numbers in terms of what are we saying here? No, I'll come back to all of that. We're going to get to crypto right now because a lot of people watching who want to know about the crypto stuff as well. So let's go to... Ooh, shiitake mushroom. Dang. Okay, give me 1 second. Oh, we're back below 96,500. Far out, Bitcoin. What are you doing, bro? Okay, let me just check a couple of things here. Where are we with everything else? 96. Ooh, interesting. Okay. Ooh. All right. Here is... Oh, no, because I haven't shared the screen. Love ya. There we go. That might be better. All right, people. Let's take a look at Bitcoin and crypto right here, the Bitcoin price. That's the index price. I don't want the index, I want the Bitstamp. That's the one I want. Here's the Bitcoin price, the Bitstamp exchange, price in US dollars, 96,138. We are back below. It's done it again. Again. Unless we can do it in the next 27 minutes, it looks like possibly, unless it's going to fake us out once again. We are currently below the 96,500 area, which has been a key area on a Fibonacci from this high and this low. Look, many people believe that this is just the consolidation through time, big up and downs. Preferably, you shouldn't be trading this hugely choppy range. Okay, we're waiting for a confirmation of one of two things. Further downwards movement or further upwards movement. Many people are saying, look, this is just the normal thing. It's going to rocket up from here. Could absolutely be the case. Got to see a couple of things, though. Got to close at least above 101,000 on a weekly time frame. Hasn't done it yet. What did we do in this last week? Okay, so here's the daily time frame. Gee, what do you know? On the daily time frame, let's go back to the weekly, sorry. As you can see very clearly here on the weekly time frame, this 96,500 area been a key level. We spiked above, and actually we spiked all the way in that 1 week, last week or the week before last, sorry. This is where we had that huge spike, right? All the way up to 102,000, 103,000. That was looking promising. Boop, 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 boop. We had the spike all the way down as well. And then it closed bang on the 96,500 level, okay? Which doesn't signal any confirmation either way. It was just right in no man's land, okay? Then what did we do? last week, and we're closing this week. The new day starts in about 25 minutes. We spiked up to 98,700 and on the Bitstamp exchange, 98,800 roughly, right up to that 0.5 level right there of that Fibonacci. And what have we done? We're back down below the 96.5. Okay, so there is no clear confirmation that Bitcoin is absolutely going to rocket up from here or go have an absolute crash from here. I don't like the fact that it's potentially in the next 25 minutes, for the first time, for a number of weeks, is going to close below this level here. Not a great setup. I preferably don't want that. Okay, I preferably want to see this in the next 25 minutes. Hey, we can do it, I guess. No, we can't do it. Probably not. Okay, that's a C. Now, all markets are manipulated. Okay, there is obviously some kind of big whale, bunch of whales, the big exchanges, the whatever you want to call it, that are manipulating the markets. All markets are probably manipulated because there's a financial incentive to do so, and the big players will do so because why wouldn't they? Okay, isn't that interesting? Right before, in the last hour of the trading week, okay, it happens to tick below a key level. Okay, it's very key. You can see here, look on the daily time frame. Look at this. Look, tell me that's not a thing. Okay, spike, close above. Spike, look, it just got really tight. Okay, here, we actually had a close below. Okay, no, and then back down. So yeah, it's a very key level, 96,500. I really didn't want to see it close the week below it, but yeah, look, it's still in a trading range. It's no man's land. Could it rocket up from here? Absolutely. I need to see it close above 104,000 to say onwards and upwards for Bitcoin. And if it starts closing back below here again, then we'll talk about those lower prices. That's all you need to know. Okay, so that's Bitcoin. Crypto, again, it's in the same thing. Not a lot to say. Others is, I'll show on the daily time frame. Others has had a bit of a spike. Okay, so had a little bit of relief in the market. Okay, on the altcoin market. You've had that spike up to that $290 billion mark. Now, someone like ASX Trader, who has been suggesting that a move up to between 295 to 300 billion is on the cards. Okay. Now, I really like ASX Trader's stuff, and I think it's very good pro analysis. I'd be interested to see his analysis to go, oh, is 290 enough? And is that the move? And now we're heading back down. I'm going to watch very quickly, watch very closely for, notifications and all that. But on balance of probability, I'm guessing he would say, and it says that not necessarily done just yet. Okay, so you have this level here, you have this level here. You can come back down again. That kind of zig and zagging as we talk, as it's talked about. You can have a move back down, see the daily time frame. And we're kind of in that zag kind of area here. Okay, so some people might be saying, oh no, onwards and upwards from here for sure. You've just got to be careful in the altcoin market. I do have a position in something called Pengu. I'm actually down in my position at the moment, but I'm confident in holding it for the moment. And I'll show you that in just a second. But yeah, short answer is I don't know, and neither do you. But yeah, something like that I could easily see. I do not want to see it close below, well, obviously below there. I don't want to see that. Okay, not good. Okay, and that would set it up for down to the downtrend line. That's at around about 200 billion. That's not good. Okay, you don't want to see that, preferably. Altcoin market, indeterminate for me. Some people, like Gerald Draper, for example, say it's probably an altcoin season absolutely coming. And you guys could be right. I just can't tell you 100%. We've got to at least get over $330 billion. Bare minimum, got to get over 330 and hold above it. Okay, that's the general altcoin market. Let's take a look at a couple of specifics. Quick look at Pengu. This is Pengu, which I am currently in. I have a position in Pengu at the moment. This is the Pudgy Penguins NFT airdropped token. Okay, looks like it's still forming that base. Okay, we had a spike up here just a couple of days ago over the weekend to just over 1 cent. Quick move down. So failure to hold, oftentimes from a failed move is a fast move in the opposite direction. It has been looking like it's forming this base though. So hopefully, we can only use really faith at this stage, that it will continue to hold. What I do like with Pengu, for example, it's, as we've been talking about, it's been an extremely oversold or undervalued right down in here. And then we've come back up to test it on the relative strength index on the daily time frame, and we tested right here. So that's a good move, and what you can very easily see happening is a spike down, and then the next move is that you get back into here. Okay, you test that. Very unlikely that you do something like this. It's very unlikely, and I know this is a little bit small for you guys to see, so let me see if I can. Right, and again, I do understand that this is a lagging indicator, not a leading indicator. But what I found is that you don't tend to do this. Now, this could be wrong. You don't tend to do that. Okay, that's not usually a thing. That's why I still think the bottom is probably in for Pengu. Okay, but you can certainly do something like that. Cup and handle, if you want to call it like that. Now, if you get back up to here, it's unlikely that you head back down, okay? So normally that will be taking it into there, which would then be that rounding bottom and then takes you higher. So I'm still in my position. I'm actually technically down on my position, but I'm holding it. And so I'm happy to hold Pudgy Penguins NFT, the Pudgy Penguins token for longer until I may have to cut my losses, and I will take that. But it's not below any levels that are telling me that it's done. Okay, cool. That's Pudgy Penguins. And finally, take a quick look at. Let's take a quick look at TOSHI. TOSHI, the face of Base, Coinbase listing not that long ago. It is Brian Armstrong's cat named TOSHI. It's the face of Base, as I just said. The token. So what are we talking about here with TOSHI? That high, that low, we've talked about we're in a trading range at the moment. We at least need to clear above the 0.001 line, so 1/10 of 1 cent. And last time I did a quick little analysis, we had this support level. We had found support here. So we'd broken back down into the best buy zone. We came back up, we tested support, okay? And then I said, look, that's a key level you need to look at a 0.069, 0.007 basically, and so far we've found support there as well. So that's good news. Found a cluster of support at that previous level at that 0.007, and we just in the last 4 hours we've had a nice little move up. Okay, good to see. Not out of the woods just yet. Okay, if I show you the relative strength index on the 4-hour time frame, okay, great to see us back in the upward direction. Could this be the move that takes us up? Absolutely could. Okay, I just need to see that 0.00094 area broken and held. All I need to do is I'll just move that and do that. Okay, I need to see that, and really preferably, excuse me, I need to see, get me out of there, I need to see that. So one of two things, at least that 0.00094 right there, and I need to see that really at the 0.001 broken, and then onwards and upwards we go. Could it be moving in that direction? Absolutely. That 0.007 has been acting as support, which is good to see. If you do break back below 0.007 right there, then watch out for getting back into the belly of the best buy zone, which you most likely will do. And then from there, I don't know, but watch out for 0.004 would be an area to watch out for. Okay, it's a previous high back here in December of last year. Okay, so watch out for that. But hopefully we just do the following. Excuse me. What the hell was that? Don't know. Hopefully we do the opposite direction where we just do this. Okay, that would be nice. Let's do that. Thank you. Onwards and upwards. Let's effing go for TOSHI, bullish in the longer term if we go through a longer crypto thing. Again, it's the face of base. Every man and his dog would be jumping back in. Retail participation into the public participation phase. Going back into crypto. A lot of the normies will jump on Coinbase because it's easy. One click, push button, buy Bitcoin, right? And they'll see meme coins are a big thing, okay? TOSHI, the face of base. Get it? Got it? Good. There you go. Comments, and we'll get out of here. Now, Pete Repeat is in here. Now, I'm going to quickly talk about, I'll do some comments, but very quickly, Tony Peterson. I am getting really concerned. Okay, I haven't heard from Tony. Has anyone heard from Tony? Pete, repeat if you're in the chat, mate. Can you let us know? Has Pete, if you're there, maybe Pete's not here. Has anyone heard from Tony? I'm going to try and reach out again. I'm getting really concerned now. Okay, not good. Okay, I'm getting concerned. So if someone can help me get in contact with Tony Pearson, as you know, our wonderful chat mum here, who's a silver coin and silver coin trader, etc., has a little mini business doing Silver Shield stuff. Haven't heard from her for a number of weeks. There's been floods up in the top end of Australia, which is where she lives, around that area. Getting really concerned. Okay, let's see. We'll do some comments though. Final comments, then we shall get out of here. Any comments on silver or manipulation or precious metals related? Any questions for me as a gold and silver bullion dealer? I also ran my own bullion dealership for about a year as well, so you can ask a bullion dealer anything if you want. Let's see. Final comments. Jason. Love how the US wants 50% of Ukraine rare earth minerals after they convince them to not accept a peace deal early. Yep. Correct. Yeah. Isn't that funny? Silver is the foundation as it is, and it is nice to be diversified as well, as my preference is decentralization. Yeah. Looking at different privacy protocols other than Monero and MWC, as well as Ondo. Yes, we like Ondo. I highly considering getting back into Ondo when I get back into the crypto market in a decent way. Also, was it you, Gerald, who told me about Plume? Was that you who told me about Plume? Also, looking at Plume as well looks very interesting in the real world asset space. That might have been you. GMS good people listening while driving. Oh, well, good on you. Hey, how's it? Watch out for the tree. Let's see. SPX, right, SPX 6900, SPX, I shouldn't be, but the community is small. Oh, okay, fair enough. Yeah, I know that one. Yeah, work can't wait. It's Monday morning. Yeah, people. 5:30 Sunday evening here in Chicagoland. Good to know. Yeah, oh, you missed Pete Repeat. Yeah, he's not here today. Yeah, I know. Neither is Tony. Where's Tony? Living in the future. We are always living in the future here in Australia. Compared to most other people. New Zealand, I think, is the one that lives in the future of every single other country in the world. Isn't that right? Isn't it New Zealand that gets New Year's Day first? I'm pretty sure it is. They do the celebration first because they're about 2 hours ahead of Melbourne, the east coast of Australia. Easier. Crypto never sleeps. Back in 2018, I took naps, right? If it's lotto numbers, nines come up more than any other number. Oh, from averaging previous drawn numbers. They call them the hot numbers. Good to know. Did not know that. Not that I play the lotto. Reminds me of playing roulette with the hot numbers. Never play them because think they come up so many times already. I don't play lotto though, casinos or crypto, but I like raffles and big prize draws for charity. That's for charity. Who doesn't love a good meat raffle? Yeah, RSL draws with bullion. Yeah, they do that now. The big bullion, the big RSLs do, yeah, gold bullion and stuff. By the way, I've said this before. For people who live, and we'll just go through the comments and do some general chit chat. As you know, I've been an entertainer for 25 years, and the very first, I live in Victoria in Australia, so it's the southeast of Australia. And I realise it is quite different than some other parts. Like it's much more of a temperate climate. It gets really quite cold here. We're in the lower end of the equator. Like Australia is big, man. So you've got you're in the Tropic of Capricorn, Tropic of Cancer kind of areas up there, and then you're underneath, right? So it gets cold here. I don't know why I mentioned the cold, but I'm just saying we're quite different. RSLs, this is my point. It's the weave. RSLs, right? That's RSLs is the Australian version of the VA, the Veterans Affairs, the veteran stuff. So RSL is a retired servicemen's league, basically pubs. Okay, so RSLs in Victoria, RSLs are small things. They're just small. It's just like a regular pub, maybe a little bit larger. It's got, your slot machines, your pokies, as we call them here, the slot machines. So a bit of gambling, a bit of this, but not roulette or anything like that. It's not like a casino, but it's just like your slot machines, right? And then you've got the pub, you've got the bistro for the meals, you've got the thing, and just families go and kids, there'll be a playground and all that kind of stuff, right? That's your general RSL in Victoria, right? But then I started doing gigs with certain bands. It's like, we booked the Wenty Leagues RSL in Sydney, in New South Wales, like the next state above Victoria. And when I was like, okay. I'm like, an RSL. Okay. All right, cool. I rock up to the RSL and it's a giant ass casinos type thing. They are huge, particularly in New South Wales. RSLs are like giant mega complexes with like full on like multiple restaurants and this and that and like full on like, valet parking, like the whole deal. Kind of, it was weird. So yes, that's why they have like the RSLs in that area have like, $1 million of, houses and all that kind of stuff for raffles. So a big segue there. You play for $30 a month. Never heard anyone winning those big prizes. Could it be manipulated? Huh? I feel it in my bones. If I win, I wouldn't tell either. Yeah, if I win the lottery, if I won something, none of you SOBs would ever know about it. Ever. Joe, what drives the altcoin market? Why drives? I think you mean what drives. What drives the altcoin market? Good question. All right. What drives the altcoin market? There is nothing backing it or driving investment, financials, product development, etc. So number one, that's not true in terms of its product development. Take real world asset development. Take companies such as crypto, such as Reserve. I'm not in Reserve at the moment, but I've been a big champion. I was a big champion in 2017, 2018, 2020, 21, I should say actually, of Reserve rights, okay, RSR, okay. Their aim is to have a basket of currencies, which is now which hopefully they're trying to become possibly the new world's reserve currency, for example. What they're trying to do is they're trying to get rid of inflation. So it's a big goal, okay? And what they did is they came out with a whole bunch of payment systems for the third world countries, or the South America countries, Venezuela, Argentina, Chile, all these ones where people can have a stable form of currency. There's not fluctuating, particularly in Venezuela, for example. So they literally helped, and they did help tackle inflation by having a phone app where people in Venezuela could very easily save it was called the R token, but it was backed by the US dollar. Okay, so there's so many real world applications. So yes, that's what drives it. So to say that there is nothing backing it is absolutely not true. However, we can say that if you want. What backs anything else? So that's the other thing. And we've talked about a million times before. I've talked about intrinsic value. There is no such thing as intrinsic value. And I know that's really hard for a lot of silver stackers and gold stackers to hear. Okay, someone who's stacked precious metals since 2010, who's worked in the bullion industry, who says there's no such thing as intrinsic value. There is not. Intrinsic value is a concept in the human mind, as right, and value is what we give it. Okay, so it's the same thing. What drives the altcoin market? Well, there's some real world applications and all that kind of stuff, like Reserve and many other companies that are trying to do things that affect the world in a positive way. But then again, that's just perceived value. Value is a concept. So what drives it? We do. Our notion of what we value. That's it. There's nothing backs anything. Okay? That's really it. I think. I could be wrong. Imagine all the people asking for loans and help if you won multiple millions. No, thank you. Never. Would not tell I would almost tell no one. There would probably be one person that knows. That's it. One person. And that's it. I will ride BlackRock. I will ride BlackRock for a little profit. Okay, fair enough. Pure evil BlackRock. Yeah, maybe not. Let's see. I laugh at the Bitcoin is saying decentralized. Yeah, what is BlackRock's? Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah, it's ETFs and all that kind of stuff. Tell us it won't go down further. No. Is it possible she just needs a break and shouldn't have to explain herself if that's the case, but who knows? Yes, absolutely. True. Completely true. You're talking about Tony. Absolutely agree. Is it possible she just needs a break? Yes. And shouldn't have to explain herself if that's the case? Yes. But who knows? Sending prayers and love for Tony Pearson. Yes, absolutely agree. Jason Ashworth says, sent a number of packages up that way. They are all stuck in Brisbane. No Australia Post going up that way. Okay. So it's still having some troubles down there. Up there, I should say. I even thought about getting a license and raffling my stack. Ooh. There was a horse racer fellow in Ireland who raffled his mansion and made a big profit and moved to England. Wow. So you can get, I don't know if that's can you do that here in Australia? Imagine. Surely that's not possible. Surely there's got to be a reason why that's not financially doable. There must be huge, it's the tax incentives here in Australia. Okay, that's why you can't do it. Must be. Because if you could raffle your house instead of selling it, and then you could potentially get more, depends on how it depends how many people, you need a lot of raffle tickets, right? Okay. But it depends how much attention you could get. You could raffle your house, get way more for it. Why isn't everyone trying to do that here? It must be the tax reasons. And, if you sell your property here, it's tax exempt for your residence, something or other. Interesting. Meme coin. Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe you meant to say meme coins. Can't go back on what you said, Jason. Some of my work clients have won lotto, about 3 million. I laughed when they complained about how everyone expects handouts and no one wants to work these days. That's funny. Yep, there is an intrinsic cost to things. No, there's not. I don't know what you mean by that. There's no intrinsic value. There's no intrinsic cost. It depends what's your definition of intrinsic, though. Don't know if there's an intrinsic cost to things. Well, yeah, okay. Yes, I can see what you mean. For example, if I hit my head against that wall, I'm doing it knowing I'm going to hurt my head. Okay, that's the intrinsic cost. No, I disagree. There is tangible and non-tangible. Tangible is just another word to say intrinsic. Gold and silver back themselves. No, they don't, and never bankrupt. It's God's made, not man-made. Digital biscuits are not tangible. I humbly and politely disagree with that. Tangible, you've just replaced one word with another word. You've replaced intrinsic for the word tangible. What does tangible mean? It's the same thing. So no, I disagree with that. You've just replaced one word for another, which is not an argument. Okay. So yeah, it's the same thing. What's tangible? Tangible means value. Value is a concept in the human mind. Again, my point, which I've mentioned many times before, intrinsic or tangible or intrinsic, it's the same thing. It means something that has value unto itself. But humans give things value. So if humans didn't exist on the earth, or if exist on the earth, all the gold in the ground has no value because there's no humans around to give it the concept of value. That's it. Did I just blow everyone's mind? Yeah, we could pool a prize and bid on it. That's funny. What does silver cost to produce? It costs a certain amount of money to mine, produce, refine. So it has... Yes, Jason, it has value. It does not have intrinsic value. So we're arguing a different thing here. Everything has value. Everything has value. What that value is remains to be seen. Everything has value to a human being. Okay? It might be no value, like the most minuscule value. Okay, so no value, or the most highest of values. Okay? But yes, it has value, but it's not intrinsic unto itself, tangible. We have to give it value. Okay? Because it's a concept. Yeah, tell that to the central bankers, Joe. Yeah, exactly right. I think we're at the end of the show. We are. We've gone an hour and a half. A new day has begun, people. Let's see. And gold will have opened. Gold has opened for the day down. Okay, just quickly, let's show you we never usually get to the day. I know you got to go, I got to go, but let's quickly show you. Gold has opened lower for the day. It opened about an hour ago, actually, or half an hour ago, roughly. Okay, so we're down for the day. Silver is going to be down for the day so far. Could we, again, watching out for that $31 area. I give it that's my bias, but $31 to $30.50. What's Bitcoin done? Bitcoin on the big stamp chains, yeah, probably opening lower and blah, 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 blah. Cool, great. Well, it is the start of a new week, people, and I hope you enjoy your week. You will get another Good Morning Stackers tomorrow morning because it's a week daily live show. Hit the big red subscribe button to join the GMS family. You get a warm and fuzzy feeling all the way through your loins when you do. And finally, we dance it out, of course. So grab your tasty beverages, and I've got to lower this because you've got to hear me speak at the same time. Grab your tasty beverages, people, because this has been
Good Morning Stack. Oh yeah, we're feeling fine. Good Morning Stack. It's podcast time.
Grab it.
Grab a tasty beverage. Let's get in the groove.
Let's do that.
Synchronised. Slurp.
3, 2,
Now we're
1.
on the
Slap it.
Good Morning Stack. Oh yeah,
What an interesting start to the week. Have a great Monday. I'll see you tomorrow, Tuesday. Stay safe, stay informed, keep stacking. Yeah, see you tomorrow, people. Bye.